What is up, guys? Son of Canadian Rider here. I want to do a video describing why I think the 2008 Audi R8 is the poor man's supercar of choice. You know, when I was looking for my dream car, the 2008 Audi R8, which I got, if you haven't seen videos of that, I'll put a playlist up here to watch that entire journey. I was really looking for this car. I really wanted it, but it was out of the price range when I wanted it. You know, it came out in 2008. I was still in high school. I had no money. The car MSRP in Canada, the V8 version was like $170,000 or something. It was crazy. It was out of the reach, obviously, for me at the time there, but it would have been out of reach for me at the time, even if I had a good full-time job. So it's come down to the point where now, 10 years later, it's come down to these cars are now at the bottom of the depreciation curve. So you're looking at cars like a 2008 to a 2010 Audi R8, the V8s or the V10s, where they come down to, you know, you can get some for 65, 70, 80, 90, depending on the condition. Some are 100. But these early first generation Audi R8s have come down in price significantly, about half the price, sometimes a little bit even less. And that now, a lot of the people that grew up loving the car are seeing it, and they probably have a good full-time job. I'm blessed enough to have a good full-time job where now it's like, wow, there's a lot of value here. It is the poor man's supercar of choice. Like, I don't make a lot of money. I'm not rich, but I'm allowable to go ahead and spend some money on a car. And people spend $60, $70, $80,000 on Ford F-150s and other trucks. So this automatically puts it in that realm of a supercar that's actually attainable for somebody that's just a normal Joe working a 9-to-5 job at any kind of company. So that's why I really think it's at the time and it's at the point, especially 10 years down the line on these first gen R8s, where a lot of people who really wanted this car when it was out of their reach, it was in supercar territory, can now buy one 10 years later at a significant valuation that is lower, about 50%. Now, you're gonna be saying, Canadian Rider, like, because it's gonna break down, 10 years older, it's a German car. All those things are 100% right. So that's a whole different other subject. We can talk about maintenance. I've made a video talking about why I think actually the Audi R8 is probably the best supercar, because a lot of its parts are mass manufactured from other Audi models and Volkswagen models. So in the case for the Audi R8, it's actually not too big of a deal. But it is still at that point now where the purchase price to just get into an Audi R8 is where the normal guy could go ahead and get it. You don't gotta be rich to go ahead and buy a first generation Audi R8. Now, actually, the other thing that goes along with being the poor man's choice for a supercar is that not only is it the supercar, but it's also daily drivable. So I made a video about this separately as well. I'll put the card above. You can take the Audi R8, you can go grocery shopping with it, you can go take it out. It's actually really compliant on the road. So that's why a lot of people tend to, especially in the situation I was in when I was looking, you know, I wanted to get into a supercar, and it's just what happens, my dream supercar came to that attainable level. It even made more sense for me because, you know, I could go ahead and drive it to the grocery store, or I could go do something around with it and not be worried about being compliant on the road. And finally, which is actually a super big bonus for the poor man's supercar, is that they've really reached the bottom of the depreciation curve for these Generation 1 cars. So my 2008 Audi R8 and anything above to 2010, they've all pretty much bottomed out in the market. I've been following this car, honestly, like a maniac on forums since it got released. So 10 years of just like psychotically obsessing on the forums, like learning about this car. And you've seen what happened was depreciation came down. Like normal cars, the first couple of years you're taking a big hit, but now we've come to a point where the depreciation has kind of settled at this point. Similar to the Lamborghinis, the older Lambos that have settled on their depreciation curve. These Audi R8s, the V8 version, the V10, specifically the Gen 1, they've bottomed out now, the depreciation curve. So you can see a lot of them in between the 70, 80, 90K range in good condition. Varying conditions in those price bands, but you can get one. And the thing is, they have bottomed out at this point. I don't expect that this car is ever gonna drop down to the 40s and 50s for a good condition R8. And that's important for the poor man, where, you know, maybe in the future you need to sell this car, you need to reclaim a lot of that value. So if you buy an Audi R8 and you go ahead and decide maybe in 2-3 years you actually wanna sell it, you could possibly sell it for profit. The big thing about this car, it was Audi's first adventure into a supercar. It was their first thing going and making this. It was actually a leading design element. When they designed this car, the design influenced the rest of the lineup in the further generations for Audi. This car was really a hallmark car. So I'm really blessed that I have mine. So when I picked mine up, it was a 10-year-old car, obviously at the time, but it had the full maintenance history, the full records. It was in perfect condition. I got everything along with it. So I knew as a poor man that, you know, I buy this car now, to the bottom of the depreciation curve, not only will I be able to sell it at break even, obviously taking away the oil change costs and the recurring maintenance costs that you have to do, which you gotta suck up for to do when you buy a supercar, that you can maybe even sell it for a profit in a couple of years. A lot of people are gonna be looking for this car in the future because of the manual transmission, because it was Audi's first supercar, because of a whole host of other different reasons. You know, I just made a video comparing the Gen 1 versus Gen 2 Audi R8, and tons of you guys here and on the forums are saying, you know what, Gen 1 was where it's at. Audi has never outdone themselves after that first appearance of the 2008 Audi R8. That was really the halo, the pinnacle moment for Audi supercar. So if you're looking for a supercar and you're like, you know, I don't got $200,000 or $500,000 to spend on any of these others, and you're looking for that poor man's choice, you know, I hate to put that label on such a beautiful, well-performing car, but it truly is, in my opinion, the poor man's supercar of choice. Let me know your thoughts. Are there some other cars out there that you go ahead and consider as the poor man's supercar choice? You know, I know there is some of the older Lambo Gallardos or Lamborghini Gallardos, but those are actually significantly more expensive in terms of maintenance, so it kind of puts it out of that realm. But let me know your thoughts. I want to hear in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please like it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Over 15,000 subscribers. I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys have constantly been on here interacting. You guys are liking the content. I love doing this. I love talking to you guys about this. A lot more video content's coming up, and I'm just really happy. So I'll leave it at that. I'm looking forward to your comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.